Hello and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we've got something really cool for you. A philosophical showdown for the ages. We're going to pit ancient wisdom against modern innovation in this incredible imagined dialogue.
So let's just dive right in. What we're about to do is explore this meeting across, get this, 24 centuries. This whole thing is based on a really fascinating thought experiment published by the Spiritual Seek, and believe me, it gets right to the heart of what progress even means anymore.
All right, first up, let's meet the two people in the ring. And I'm telling you, this isn't just some polite chat. It's a full-on collision of two completely different ways of looking at, well, everything. So in one corner, you've got Plato, right? The classic Athenian philosopher, always looking inward, upward, searching for capital T truth. And in the other corner, you have Elon Musk, the ultimate modern innovator, totally focused on solving humanity's biggest external threats. But here's where it gets really juicy. It's how they see each other that sets everything in motion.
So Plato, he looks at Musk and basically sees a guy building a fancier, more high-tech prison. But Musk, he looks back at Plato's ideas and thinks, yeah, that's elegant, but totally impractical. It's like a beautiful key that doesn't open any real doors. And this fundamental disagreement, it's the engine for the whole debate. And it all kicks off with Plato's most famous idea.
And yep, you guessed it. Plato comes out swinging with his greatest hit, the Allegory of the Cave. Of course he does. He uses it as this perfect framework to really question the very nature of everything Musk is building. And he does not pull any punches. He goes right for the jugular. He's basically asking, hey, Elon, are things like social media algorithms and your neural interfaces, are they actually tools for enlightenment? Or are they just, higher definition shadows on a digital cave wall? Something to keep us entertained, distracted, and maybe even more chained than we ever were before. Wow.
But Musk's comeback is really powerful. He's like, hold on, I'm not a shadow maker, I'm building escape hatches. He argues that Tesla, Neuralink, SpaceX, these aren't illusions. In his mind, they are real, tangible tools. They're designed to shatter the very chains of disease, our reliance on fossil fuels, and even the biggest chain of all, being stuck on just one planet.
Plato, though, he doesn't let him off that easy. He totally pivots the conversation. He shifts from the what we can build to the why we're building it. And he hits him with this absolute killer question that reframes the whole thing. What good is it to escape the cave if all we do is bring our own darkness along with us?
And that question leads them straight into a topic that, let's be honest, is super close to home for every single one of us. How in the world do we find truth in this crazy, hyper-connected age?
So Musk, he lays out his vision for platforms like X. He sees it as a kind of modern-day agora, the ancient Greek public square. It's this open marketplace where any idea can be thrown out there to compete. And he believes the best, the truest ideas will just naturally rise to the top. All without the old media gatekeepers telling us what's what.
Man, Plato's counterargument here is just devastating. He basically tells Musk he's fundamentally confusing what's loud with what's true. He says, your algorithms, they're not designed for wisdom. They're designed for engagement. And what gets engagement? Outrage, emotion. So they amplify all that stuff, turning this digital agora into a super noisy echo chamber, not a real place to find truth.
And this is where Plato brings in a really key distinction. For him, there's a huge difference between doxa, which is just popular opinion, what's trending, what feels right, and episteme, which is genuine, reasoned knowledge. One is just a vibe, the other is actual understanding.
And that right there really sums up their huge divide. Musk trusts that wisdom will just bubble up from the crowd. But Plato, he's convinced that a crowd without a guide, without philosophical education, doesn't find wisdom. It just gets hopelessly lost in its own noise and biases.
Okay, so now the conversation escalates. It goes to the biggest question of them all. What is the whole point of humanity? Are we just supposed to keep going, survive, or is there something more to it? Musk's answer is, well, it's very Musk. It's pragmatic, but also incredibly grand. It's all about risk mitigation on a cosmic scale. Think of it like a giant insurance policy for human consciousness. He's just trying to make sure the lights don't go out, period.
But Plato just fires back with this really profound critique. He says that just surviving without virtue is totally hollow. It's meaningless. He asks, what's the point of going to Mars if we just pack up all our greed, our aggression, our ignorance, and take it with us? We're not fixing the problem. We're just changing the scenery for the same old drama.
Plato's warning here is just so stark.
He's saying that without some kind of internal, ethical upgrade, all our amazing technology will just become a magnifying glass for our worst tendencies. We'll get to Mars and do what? Probably strip mine it just like we did Earth, creating new, even bigger problems for ourselves.
In this slide, right here, this gets to the absolute heart of it. You see the conflict? Musk is all about the how. How do we keep the human project from failing? But Plato is obsessed with the why. Why should it continue? What is the quality of that project? And are we even making ourselves worthy of preserving?
So, as this epic dialogue starts to wrap up, it really all boils down to one final, huge question about the real purpose of all the incredible tools we're creating.
Plato's final warning is really a call for us to look in the mirror. He argues that if we don't deeply examine our own motivations, our own biases, then even our best-intentioned technologies can backfire. They can end up trapping us, enslaving us in ways we never, ever saw coming.
And with these last words, he throws down a major challenge to the entire techno-optimist worldview. He's suggesting that maybe, just maybe, true progress isn't about how many miles we travel to Mars, but about the journey we take inside ourselves. So, in the end, this isn't about picking a winner. There's no scorecard here. The real value of this whole imagined conversation is the massive question it leaves hanging in the air. It's this tension that, let's face it, our entire civilization is living through right now. We have the power of gods, but do we have the wisdom to go with it?
And that's the question this amazing dialogue puts right back on us, on you. The tools are in our hands, but the direction we choose, are we heading towards real enlightenment, or are we just building ourselves a bigger, fancier, more comfortable cave? That's a choice we're all making, every single day.